And here we are in Caledon again. I've been a little bit busy recently. So here we are in a little sandstone shelter, which I've actually moved. It was a bit further... Ooh, I can't remember which way it goes. But I think it was a bit... Yes, it was a bit further west and a bit further west and north, yes. So what I'm doing here, I'm just fencing in this nether portal. Now, unlike my other nether portals, what I've done is I've been to visit the... Yes, it was over there, beyond those trees. There's a big open field sort of thing. And it's another lovely day, so basically, as I say, I dismantled it and rebuilt it and did a bit of exploring and found this enormous cave system here, which reminds me I really need to replant this tree. Where we're going to go? Everything seems to be looking fine. Anyway, the reason I made this particular portal here was that I've been creating a long trail from my home island to a... what is that thing? Oh yes, to there's a temple that I found. Now, I actually ran into that temple. Someone else had been there before me. In my previous disastrous adventure where I got completely lost. I still haven't found that village that was built directly over a skeleton spawner. I mean, seriously, the skeleton spawner was right over the library. Under the library, I mean. So, we go down this spiral here. Now, he's coming to the bottom. I put some stone blocks in to protect the entrance. Guess, you know. Actually, while I'm here, this will light up the night. Where do I go? Just here. There we go. So that's the entrance I created. There's actually a adventure route to get to my home base. Not far from here. I ended up having to create a little bridge over some lava. There's a pool in front of the nether portal, as you can see, for those fun incidents when you suddenly realize, oh god, I have to, and it goes down to some caves. So you've got all the mod cons. We've got an ender chest. We've got... What's that I can hear out there? It's not moaning or anything. Might keep those here. Furnace, bed, chest, that sort of thing. There's a... What? Creepers. Oh, nasty creepers. And I think there's a big empty void underneath the sandstone here. Anybody... Blammo! Actually, while I'm here, get some string. Yeah, you can hear there's a zombie smooching around under here. You can also see some of the waypoints that I created. So, I basically stopped up some of the entrances and lit the place on fire so it's visible from a distance. Actually, that reminds me. I just got an idea. Hang on. Whoops. I really should have, yeah, there's definitely skellies under the... what's up? What's up that green grinch between friends? And see, I mean, really, when I think about it, I probably don't need to... Oh, wrong thing. Furnace is what I want. Furnace and a little bit echo. Yeah, I can hear a... I think there's not a creeper out there. I can tell. I can't see where he is. What a little devil. And, well, as I go out and see what he's up to. I mean, when I think about it, I've actually extended my estates quite a way. It's really quite touching. Oh, how fortunate. No, we don't want rotting meat. Yeah, somebody's obviously battling a creeper around here somewhere. Speaking of creepers, where are you, you little bastard? I don't like creepers very much. See, there he is. You see me? I see him. we're far enough away that we can get involved in a fight. We're going to have a fight. Bammo! Okay, let's go back inside. Yes, I haven't been doing very much in Noirland at the moment. I might go back there in a few instances. Oh, lovely. Okay, so we're all clear. Now I can do the... get some green. Make some carpet. I mean, it's very popular if you, I know in, what do they call them? Architectural circles, to have very similar, what's that word I'm looking for? You know, have white floors and white walls and things. There's actually a blog I follow on Tumblr that follows that kind of brutalist, minimalist architecture. Anyway, let's go back up the road. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I've been off Noirland for a while because I've got a lot of things on my plate. There's that hunt in New Babbage, which technically started a few days back, but there's still some problems, I think, with the design. Well, they had some problems with the baskets. The baskets have a time limit on them, and we've set it up so that it expires in Halloween 2016 rather than 2015. Originally I was expecting the whole business to run for only about, what's that running for? Oh yeah, about a month. But because it's an unstructured hunt, the idea is you find places to get tokens, and then you find places to redeem those tokens. It could run for ages. Okay, there we go. Later on, when I get back online again, I might move that gate. Okay, let's put some green carpet on. I'm gonna have to see if I can find some. Maybe I should smelt some clay blocks. So there we are. In any case, this cave down here, I mean, it's a big and open plan, and actually got rather exciting. If I drop down here, ding, 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 ding. I mean, part of it, of course, is that's a very open plan cave, as 'twere. I think you get the idea. But if we go over to this side here, and where was it? Is it there? No, I can't see where I'm going. But at least we can get an idea. These spoopy caverns. You know, being able to reach around and bonk, there we go. Bonk. Yeah, might just leave them there for now. Yeah, not far below is a... Yep, mines. So I've been here before, so I've set myself up with a local mining station. So if I need more fences, I've got fences. Yeah, I've got fences. But I might harvest some of these rails and set up a little railway in the Nether. Now I've actually started trying to create a Nether railway, well, not a Nether railway, but a normal railway in my mines at home, in order to try and find, I suppose you could say, more diamond-infested pastures. I haven't really been doing very much with diamonds at the moment. So just make sure that... Whoa, I don't like the sound of this. Anyway, it could be that they were actually below me. It's very hard to tell. We got no space 3D audio, you see. But it wouldn't help me anyway. Yeah, you can hear the little sods. Can't tell where they are. Creepy, creepy. Might as well. Actually, I might as well go home. Good thing I put those leftover. What do you call them? Oh yeah, Oh heck, it is getting late. I mean, I don't mind light up this place. Yes, at the moment, which is a bit annoying that we can't get shaders working with 188, which is because this is a Minecraft's Realm server. So, no shaders for you. Yes, it's looking quite nicer with green carpet on the floor. Very nice. Actually, while I'm here, I might just skip out. Because we've gone one way, but I think we'll go the other. So, if you go this way, that's the main road. Yeah, as you can see, it's quite a long way, so frankly, I wouldn't mind having a little railway line like this with stops, so that I can simply get to the end of that. And I mean, yeah, I probably could do something along those lines, because this is just taking too long. I mean, if I want to travel from one side to the other... Oh, shut up. God, I guess, yep. That looks familiar, doesn't it? Down we go. Down, 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 down. Oh, it was fun creating this. Keeping an ear out for guests. I mean, yes, it's sort of doing it up pretty, so it's got windows for guests and things. Yes, I try and keep the what am I trying to do? Oh yeah, keep the pigmen out. I've got to keep that pigmen out. Yes, and over there, it's not easy to spot. There is a path that leads to the same direction I came from. Anyway, let's think of what else we've been doing. Originally, I was narrating as I explored this game. It's called Subway Adventure, and we're at the stop called Flower Garden. But this soundtrack tended to drown me out, and so I've given up. So here we are at Flower Garden. I've never been here before, so I'm finding this rather amusing. We're riding the rails on the Dream Metro of Sadness, which is a bit odd. The instructions you are given, the quest is to pick a destination and go to it. In my case, I've decided not to do that. I'm going to try and ride as many loops as I possibly can. Poor sobby twerps. Anyway, this is just one of the places you can find. Another quest that you can impose upon yourself is to press all the buttons, such as that one over there. If you haven't touched them before, and this is what the map looks like, if you've been here before, the button will be red, so we're on the life loop, if you will. So we're trying to figure out which way to go. I want to go on the other side of the hospital, so I'm going to go this way. I'm going to head to the disco. Now each area has its own unique style, visual theme, you get the idea. You just need to wait for the train to come in. Which is actually a pretty good way of handling transitions between locations that, and yes, you do end up having to share the train with the other passengers. I mean, here's one. We're at Disco. No, it's not Disco. Wait, it's, what's it called again? Party District. And here's one of the party people blocking the blooming entrance. This happens a lot in this place. So the developers made this one playing around with shaders, and notice that they're very butch men in hot pants. So let's see which way we go. And down, down, the Cookton Town you go, my lad. And as you can see, it's a bit difficult to navigate around it. But then again, that's the idea. It's supposed to be sort of a make you think of a rave, though the music doesn't do that. I might have to put some music in here, actually. So there's these translucent bars, and now here we are in... what was it called again? It was called something, I can't remember. I tried to come in here before, and then I kept getting blocked. But I think it's called Radial. And it's probably, yeah, I think it's Radial. And it's called Radial because they imply shader that makes it impossible to see what's in front of you. You can only see around the side. So there's one of the controls. So now I have radio. There was some. I mean, okay, Flower Garden was a bit corny, but some of the others, such as Time Zone, they're actually quite clever. You know, actually, this would make a good maze navigation game. Let's see if I can get inside. I think I'm inside. Am I inside? Yes, I am inside. Managed to escape the radial. Now, where are we? We're in a place with very tall people. Let's see if we can get out of here. Or can we? Can't seem to move. Oh well. We're now in a wild fluorescent location. What's it called? Weird Angles. On Dream Metro Sadness. So I think we're, yes, right, this is earlier on when I was on the abstraction line. So we sort of have to jump up and hop through here, leap through hoops. Now they're interesting actually. I might do a video playthrough of this for people who don't really want to faff around with it. Here's a rat. Maybe he wants to go to edible trains. And that's the turnstile, would you believe? So let's see if we can jump up on here. And there's the red button that I want to find. I think I made that my quest in playing this game. I want to press all the red buttons. Ding! Weird Angles! Success! And what could be, I could be able to get out of here, couldn't I? Couldn't I? No way to find out. It makes me a bit of descent, this part. Somehow I don't think I'm going to be able to get out. It doesn't look like an exit. Up we go, up we go. No, yes, no, yes, no. Bunny hopping my way up a possibly steep shaft, and I don't think I'm going to be able to escape. In fact, that's one of the things I'm not entirely sure about with Subway Adventure. Can you actually escape the subway? I mean, there's sort of a guiding line at one point where the notices state that the line between the hospital and what was it? The line between the hospital and this person would have trained. And the airport is closed due to a strike. Almost like a forcer. Now, this one I think is called, what is it? Can't tell. But I think this is it's on the abstraction line. What's it called? Artifacts. Always weird. So there's numerous. It's not. Some of these places are quiet and reflective. You don't actually do anything there, but stand around and drink in the ambience. Others make you feel like you have to do something. In Disco, for instance, there's a little jumping puzzle if you're going to get the button for it. But at the same time, there is something else which we'll get to later on in this section. I mean, okay, 11 minutes of me roaming around Subway Adventure was probably terribly dull. But as you can see, the inhabitants and natives of this particular stop are simply placeholders. It does help when you can see where the door is supposed to be. Now here we are at the equipment depot. Now let's see if I can get out of here. No, I can't. There is somebody blocking the entrance. Drat. You don't have much time. Oh, nuts. And here we are at edible trains. Now can I get out of here? And once again, no, I cannot. Nerds. Stuck. Ah, well. We'll see if we can get off at Personhood of Trains and take this metro in the other direction. Here we are. Personhood of Trains. And that one is blocking the entrance. This one is not blocking the entrance, so we can have a look around. So we're in sort of the top right corner. You'll also notice here that the edible trains stop has been censored out, probably to avoid upsetting the person-hooded train's feelings. Some sort of round ball thing. I'm not sure what kind of engine this is, but as you can see, the graphics are deliberately crude. Which probably makes sense. Okay, I think we'll go in this one. This is a Dream Metro. Here we go. I can imagine what the person-hooded train must feel passing through the edible train stop. Maybe they just close their, I don't know, doors and go la la la, I can't hear you. So here we are at edible trains. So apparently these things with the trains in their mouths are the things that eat the trains. If you look in the right direction when you arrive, you'll find that these train carcasses are actually physics objects, so they fall to the ground and bounce around. Here's more of the giant things that eat trains. Bizarre. Boing. Very bizarre. Yeah, see? I'm pushing that one around. Here's the button. Tink. I wonder why there's one called edible trains. This one's odd. Do I get on here? Don't know. No, I don't think so. Hoppity, hop, hop. Not easy. Obviously, navigation is a bit difficult in this game. Well, it's not actually a game, it's more like a walking simulator, similar to The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, where there isn't much that you can do. Now, where are we? We are at... Oh, what's it called again? I think we're in the cloning tanks. And, oh yes, right, we're at the equipment depot. We've got here at last. Now the thing is, you can amuse yourself by visiting each stop and trying to find the button. Sometimes that's extremely difficult. But there's something else, something in the back here that is a bit odd. So if I go this way, is that a stone hinge? No, it's not. It's a button hinge. So what you can do is, yes, what you can do, instead of visiting all the stops, you can simply short-circuit the whole thing by going here and clicking all the buttons. Ding, equipment depot. Or can you, hang on? Ding, disco. Well, you can, which kind of negates the purpose of imposing that quest on yourself. Or maybe it's a way of thumbing the nose at the completist types. In any case, it's a freeware game. I found it through boingboing.net, and it really is quite charming. It's an example of what games can do without actually worrying about being games or violence or imposing quests on people. It's a toy, really. Well worth playing with. I recently went back and loaded up a Quake engine. A modern one you can get these days for the original Quake. I'm not talking about Quake 2, 3, 4. This is the classic Quake, the original Quake that excited my... well, it just excited me all those years ago in, what was it, 1997? Yeah, it would have been 1997 that I finally purchased it. I think it was about $50 at the time, boxed. I've lost the box a long time ago. But this is a recent map pack for what was called a map jam. So, of course, we've got skyboxes, we've got coloured lighting, but the basic underlying thing remains the same. You're a self-propelled gun in a maze, fighting your way through monsters in order to get from point A, which is that thing there, to point B, which I'm not quite sure where point B is. But in order to get to point B, you have to access points C, D, E, F, and several other letters of the alphabet, and possibly some Greek and Latin symbols as well. the whole bit. So really, like most games, when you look at the mechanics, it's quite simple. It's how you gussy up those simple mechanics. Hello there. That is the question. For example, this map has an ingenious, really neat gimmick. Namely those googly eyes. They're actually a set of what called funk trains, he says, speaking from experience, and every so often you walk through a trigger or you activate a trigger that swaps two funk trains out. Although it's equally possible there's just one big funk train, and that the trains are just moving from one station to the next. You never know, I never do. So I'm trying to figure out what that thing in the middle of the nowhere is. I don't want to get too near it. It makes me nervous. So I got too near it. But not that it matters, because I had to. It really does bring me back. I mean, I walked away from the Quake mapping and modding community, actually. I used to work on a number of Quake mods, such as DMSP, which allowed you to play single player the deathmatch maps, the two often being mutually incompatible, as well as Operation Earth Magic, which was my attempt at heading up a map pack with a futuristic bent. I don't think it actually worked very well, but I tried. But by 2004, I'd become sick of Worldcraft. I'd become sick of the BSP Light Visor sequence. I'd basically burned out. And so my last map pack went back to a couple of maps I did, Swamp and Town, which actually bolted into each other quite nicely. But I beefed it up into a larger number of maps. So there was one that was sort of in the swamp until you went into mine, then the mine turned into a crypt, then the crypt took you out into the rivers, onto the side of a river. You boarded a river steamer, which was actually inspired by Monolith Software's Blood. And from there you arrived at a town, and at the town there was a final battle in a giant, I can't remember what it was. Oh yeah, it was sort of a giant church thing, but it wasn't particularly inspired. But then again, neither was I. I was starting to burn out at the time. Of course, by then, we were beginning to experiment with organic architecture like this, and mixing and matching styles of standard Gothic, medieval, metal, and a few other bits and pieces, as well as textures converted from other games such as Daikatana or Quake 2. There's probably heaps more around. In fact, the last time I visited the Quake community, I was merely asking where could I find Ecclescraft's IK2K pack for Quake 3 Arena, because I needed that for a Second Life build. Coming back to this, I actually found myself having fun in a kind of visceral way, because as I stated, the gameplay in Quake is, well, it had to be for the time, simple and straightforward. Go from the start to the finish of the maze, kill off as many of the monsters as you can. I mean, there were no achievements, there were no Easter eggs. Well, there were Easter eggs. I mean, the dopefish lives after all, just not in this map pack, I don't think. And here comes the items. I should and that's it done. I mean, nowadays we've got coloured light. There are BSPs that allow you to use funk detail brushes to reduce the amount of time and the amount of complexity required for the vising or optimization process to run. Of course, everything in here also was done with the convex solid brushes, so that the edges of the world aren't carved out of negative space. They're actually still keeping an eye on me, how sweet. They are to all intents and purposes, a huge pile of solid brushes. So one of the things that Vice had to do was cull faces that couldn't be seen, which I believe really slowed things down. I mean, when I finished my town map, it might have been the standalone one, I'm not quite sure. I remember it taking nearly 48 hours to complete, and that was even before lighting, if I can say. But after a while, after a while, I became burned out. In fact, I think I was working on the progs.dat, which is effectively a repository of scripting for a particular mod, and things weren't going very well. It didn't help that I was trying a whole new way of organizing the progs.dat that made a bit more sense to me at the time, but then again, I was autistic in the first class idea. What do you do? So naturally, one day I sat down, powered up the computer, turned on the editor for the progs.dat, what's called a Quake compiler, and I actually felt myself about to throw up. I might have just been botulism, I don't know. But I suddenly realized I can't do this anymore. I can't keep playing Quake all the damn time. I can't keep making these bloody mods that do the same thing over and over and over again. I basically come to the end of my rope. So, here it goes. Here comes the violence. Violence. But it's so much fun. Here you come. Hello, Mr. Violence. Are you stuck on, Mr. Violence? I'm going to kill you, Mr. Violence. No, I'm Mr. Violence. Actually, that'd be a pretty good name for a first-person shooter that doesn't take itself seriously. You know, like Serious Sam. Mr. Violence's Busy Days, or something. Nah, that's just silly. But, I don't know. I asked myself just last night, would I ever go back to Quake mapping? And I really don't know. Maybe I just prefer making things as opposed to making things that you kill things in. I'm not sure.